So my name is Laura Teste. I'm a bronze sculptor and I'm here at J. Petter Gallery. And I have a couple questions that I've been asked to answer. Which is actually a pretty fun story. My husband and I were doing a road trip on Highway 1 going north on California's Highway 1. And we stopped at a gallery in Carmel and saw these beautiful, beautiful bronze, figurative bronze sculptures. And I said, oh, wouldn't that look good in the garden? So we said, how much is it? They said it was six figures. It was well into the six figures. So my husband, being who he is, and turned to me and being who I am, said, you can do that. And I said, oh, I could do that. So I went home and bought a bunch of water-based clay. I use oil-based now. Set up a armature, which is the structure that goes underneath your clay when you're starting out with lost wax casting, and started putting clay together. I was going to make a 6 foot tall, just for starters, a 6 foot tall sculpture. My background is actually in engineering and design, and so this is a perfect métier for both sides of my brain. With my bronze casting, a lot of it has very thin arms and lots of drapery, deeply pocketed. That's not what you normally see in bronze. What you think of when you see a bronze sculpture. Normally you think of like an executive bust. And in this case, the reason you don't see skinny arms and deeply pocketed bronze drapery is because it cools at different rates and it shrinks at different rates, and it's a little more complicated and not straightforward casting bronze. So that has been my artistic journey into getting into being an artist. There's been probably three main phases. The first one was vim and vigor, and that was primarily singular figures. There was a lot of focus on autonomy and independence and female energy. It's what you see mostly around here. So, for example, Saw Lightning here and Up All Night both happen to have references to Beck's Color album that happened to be on heavy rotation when I was sculpting these things. But you'll see that there is a definite attempt to involve the viewer as far as like celebrating her brilliance. And one of the things that the Vim and Vigor Foundation, that I guess is the best way to describe that, is the use of negative space. As far as using negative space in sculpture, you end up, for example, with Saw Lightning, you've got the figure base here, you've got the figure over here, and this whole effort as far as creating all this space around it helps to accentuate where she's going. So you've got this kind of explosion of energy that is happening here. With Up All Night, for example, you may say, oh, it's straight up, it's up and down. There's no negative space. But if you realize that the leg is on one side and the body is biased on the other side, you've got this whole movement of the skirt. It opens up like a flower almost, and you've got this stamen kind of sticking out of the flower. That also gives it visually a really interesting track. So your eyes will actually kind of track it. So that was Vim and Vigor. That was phase one. Phase one was all about figurative individuals. Often the eyes were closed. They were, again, just kind of a great foundation. And the reason I kind of collect them and call them Vim and Vigor is that they ended up being a solo show in the Arthur Secunda Museum. And this was the welcoming piece, by the way. And many of them were shown in that spot. It was winter. It was COVID, and I wanted joy. Furling was an exploration of just unconditional collision of hugs, and it was actually really, really fun to research this. I was searching for videos of people running together and hugging each other, and the only thing that could have topped that would be as if I had my actual friends and family running and taking videos of them hugging each other. So that that was COVID. So I did four sculptures with pears in them. Following furling, I basically did deep dive subjects. So I would do a triptych, which is three sculptures, exploring different ideas. Started off with Sea Sisters, which happens to be this. And Sea Sisters was just an exploration of the sea and trying to put a figurative look on the sea sun, the sea wind, the sea cliffs. And this was kind of fun because I used this actual sand to help create the mold for all of these sculptures. Sand is from the Turks and Caicos. They have the best sand. And then using an orange patina was a little bit different in order to create a more of a heat feeling to that. So that's one example. The Sea Sisters, About Time series, the digital in the Bronze Age, digital identity in the Bronze Age, which is all about kind of repurposing and integrating different types of materials, and Saving Venice. So Saving Venice 1, 2, and 3. And we happen to have number 1 up here. And this is, I'm going to stand for this. This is actually really kind of cool. This was my first foray into using truly non-traditional materials with bronze. The rope is holding up this bronze, which is significant. The glass originally came from my brother, who sent me a box of shards of glass he found on the bottom of the Pacific Ocean near the Marshall Islands. I in turn those were fishing floats, I believe, Asian fishing floats. And I in turn took those, crushed them up, worked with a local glass artist to create the beads, and then integrated that. What's next is I'm going to continue to explore using non-traditional materials. My brother sent me, this time, the whole kit and caboodle. These are Asian sea floats, Asian glass sea floats, possibly Japanese, that he was able to find whole ones this time in the bottom of the ocean. Sent me about 6 or 8 of these. And I'm integrating these with my next sculpture, which has a clay with a strategically placed glass float. I'm also working on using the glass, again, crushed glass, with some that were molded at a local glass foundry. And this one is actually one of my mentor, who was Albert Young, recently passed away, and this was going to be kind of a memorial of him. So I'm incorporating some of the glass with, so it's a very thin, elegant, 5-foot tall structure that is coming. So stay tuned.